There are two twists in the story.
I have 3 sons aged 32, 28, and 26. All of my sons are very successful young men and are on their own. My oldest and youngest were always very outgoing and were kind of party animals in high school and college. My middle son focused on his grades and his future from a young age. He even let his younger brother move in with him. Anyway, my middle son had a very bad ex-girlfriend. Basically, they dated since they were 17 and she cheated on him several times. My son never left her because he loved her, but eventually he realized that she was a bad woman and left her. It only took 8 years. Anyway, my oldest son got married at 29 and my youngest is engaged. They give my middle son a lot of flack because he's single, but I always say that his ex kind of messed up his sense of love and confidence. They just don't understand what he went through. My husband agrees. 6 months ago, my middle son started dating this new girl that we just met yesterday. I was happy to hear that he found someone. She's very educated and smart, according to him. They have similar personalities and interests. Considering that my middle son is kind of a nerd, that made me happy to hear. Anyway, I wanted to meet her immediately. My son said that she's very shy and it would take her time. 6 months later, my son's girlfriend told him that she's ready to meet us. So Friday afternoon, my husband decides to grill. Everyone comes over. Then my son and his new girlfriend shows up. This beautiful girl walks in holding his hand, standing behind him. He was right. She is very shy. We all introduce ourselves to his new girlfriend, Sadie. Sadie was very quiet, but said hi to everyone. Honestly, she spent the most time with our dog that night. At one point, while everyone else is busy, I ask Sadie if she would like to help me finish some side dishes and chop up some stuff. She says sure. I just ask how they met and some typical conversations. Eventually, my middle son comes up behind her and pokes her booty. She gives him a "really" look and hits him in the arm, and he grabs her and picks her up and they laugh. I say put her down, don't be so rough on her. My son just says okay, puts her down and heads back out. I said, sorry, we have 3 boys. Sometimes they're a little too rough, but he's harmless. She said, I know he is. I used to wrestle with my dad and brother growing up too. I said, your mom let her daughter wrestle with her older brother and her dad? She said, well, I used to be a boy, so I guess it was different. And she giggled. I froze. I said, what? Her face went snow white and immediately tears rolled down her face. She said, he didn't tell you? I went, no. She said, I think I should leave. I'm sorry. I grabbed her and said, no, stay here. I asked, does my son know? And she said, yes, he does know. She said that she always brings it up on the first date, so if there are any issues, we don't waste each other's time. To be honest, I was very surprised, but my son has never been so happy, so I dropped it. I honestly just couldn't believe it. I mean, you would never know. She's gorgeous. She asked me if I thought differently of her. I said that you make my son happy, and as long as you treat him right, I don't care. She just said thank you. I called my son today because his dad wants to get to know Sadie more, and he wants us all to go to dinner, just the 4 of us. He said sure. I brought up the conversation I had with Sadie, and he said that he knows. He said that she's just really shy and doesn't talk about it at all. She just tries to fly under the radar. He said that since I already know, we have to tell Dad, but they discussed me kind of pre-telling my husband before the dinner tomorrow. Any idea on how I'm supposed to tell my husband?
But wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah, they finally do tell the husband. So there's the first twist. So they told the dad.
OP posted an update. I took your advice and told my husband earlier than I had planned to. I told him at noon, just before we were going to pick up my son, Sam, and Sadie at 6. The conversation was basic and fairly quick. I just said, Sadie is trans. He just went, okay. He said that we would talk later. I said something about dinner, and he just said that we would talk later. I told my son Sam that I told my husband and that I would have his back. On the drive to Sam's place, I told my husband that Sam loves her and makes him happy. I explained that it took a lot of courage from Sadie to be open with us right from the beginning. My husband just said that we'll talk later, and he said that he promised that he'd be on his best behavior. We went to pick up Sam and Sadie. It was a nice restaurant, so my husband and Sam were in polos and dress pants, while Sadie and I were in dresses. They looked so cute together when I saw them. They were matching in everything. We go to dinner, and my husband is acting normal, just asking questions to Sam and Sadie about intentions, how they met, etc. After dinner, I gave her a lot of credit. Sadie tried to bring it up with my husband, but he just said to hold that thought, let's go get ice cream. My husband is obsessed with ice cream. He will always find an excuse to go get it. So we go to get ice cream, and he's just telling jokes to everyone in the car and acting a fool, like he always does. We get there, and he asks what everyone wants. My husband's favorite is chocolate. Mine is cookies and cream. Sam's is strawberry, and Sadie's is butter pecan. I promise this matters to the story. We get our ice cream, and after a few minutes, my husband says, "It's weird how there are so many different types of ice cream. When I was a kid, there was like 2 or 3. Now, they have hundreds, it seems like." I was confused where my husband was going with this. He then said, "As long as the ice cream that you like tastes good to you and makes you happy, I don't mind forking out a few dollars for a smile." He then winked at Sam and Sadie, and that was it. That was the discussion. We took them home, and my husband gave Sam and Sadie each a hug and told Sadie that he hopes that she'll make it to more dinners on the weekends as we do them often. Sadie said that she will.
Where's the shocker at? Why is this the worst person yet?
This is not the worst person at all.
Oh, okay. I was like,
this
what?
was a not every freaking story on a controversial, whether everybody still don't want to believe, saying it is or not, on a controversial matter, is disastrous and terrible and oh my goodness. No, there are some people that just like, you happy? Cool. Just as flat as it can possibly be. Not everything has to be some blown up thing. So even when it got to the dad, as many of these stories that I was listening to, oh Lord, told the dad, where's he going with this? Because he keeps saying, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. Nope. That's just somebody who just sat there and looked at his son and said, oh, she make you happy? Cool. Because that's all I want for my children, to be happy. A lot of parents keep missing that point in life. They want you to be happy with their decision for you. Doesn't always work out for you. Might as well let you know that now. It don't always work out that way. Those of my kids are happy and safe. Knock yourself out. Do you? Don't bother me none. Won't bother me none. You put yourself in danger, you're going to hear me and Foxy's mouth. You best believe that. I don't care if I'm 90 and you 50. You still going to hear my mouth if I find out that you putting yourself in danger. Or others in danger. But dating the trans, dating gay, dating lesbian, dating the LGBTQ, the whole LGBTQ plus community, I don't care. As long as you're happy. So that's, Tracy, is why I played the story. Just a little nice story, just to lighten it up a little bit, that not all of us has to just have this blown out, oh my gosh moment, you're terrible, let's have a 30-minute discussion on it. Sometimes it's just love. Mom was decent. It turned out it was the most Mom was decent and turned out was the most uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Now what if her son was in love with a less beautiful trans woman? Pretty always get. I will say this, Theus, that kind of threw me, and one of the things that she did say kind of like,
That line about she's really pretty
I would
though.
never know. She's really
We
beautiful. And
pretty,
I'm like,
yeah. You expected a beard and
what did you think
mustache?
was gonna walk through the door? And then
You can't
she
tell.
doubled down on it. I would have never known. When I say she's beautiful, she's gorgeous. She's like, lady.
She's got a little bit of internal stuff to work on, but I'll take it.
Hey, if that's the launching pad, okay, take it.
Yep.
Take it. I mean, that's kind of one of them little things in the back of your head. Like, I would have never known because you're gorgeous. Like,
you don't always have to say what you think, says the person who mostly says what she thinks, but you don't always have to say.
I don't think she said it to her out loud, but it's just like even your thinking process.
She put it on Reddit.
She put it on Reddit,
yeah. She did put it on Reddit, yeah. There are more than enough a-holes in the world, but there are also a lot of people who it doesn't matter to how they feel about that person is all that matters. Basically, who makes you happy? What makes you happy? And there are a lot of people that, quite frankly, it's a foul, toxic relationship simply on the basis of traditional dating rules, traditional marriage rules. And it's just like, no. Life is way too short, especially in this country these days. I was confused when they say when they were like, my favorite flavor is chocolate, my dad's flavor is yeah, she did tell the truth. Like, it just does matter to the store. And I'm about like, lady, you better get to it, because look, I'm okay with the stories as long as there's some content into it. But that first story was like, lady, you added some stuff into this story, like
ice cream and
yeah, that's the second story. The first story, my brothers are introverts and they're extroverts and they went to college and they actually let me move in. And I'm like, lady,
we don't care about that. Get to the part we want to get to.
About. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Nice to hear a good humor story. Yeah, that's what I mean. I like to pop in some good, wholesome stories.
Sometimes, no matter how much we picture ourselves as somebody, who we actually end up falling in love with can surprise the shit out of us. Be ready for that surprise, because it is fucking awesome.
You're preaching to the choir. Sorry. Without going into
I'm not talking to anybody here. I'm talking to people
out in the world.
Yeah.
Foxy broke every dating rule I ever had. I wouldn't trade Foxy for the world.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, unfortunately, she makes a better wife than she did a girlfriend. And you would trade me? Just because you said that. Because I said,
yep. Gotta keep them in line.
I have told her that hundreds of times. She is a wonderful wife. Wonderful wife.
But she was your girlfriend.
Was a terrible girlfriend. Yes.
But you proposed. I'm assuming.
I don't understand it either, Tracy.
But you
don't know.
You were the one that proposed. Well, no, it wouldn't be anything wrong. But she was the one that proposed. That's what I got to get out of.
Now I got Anna blows the smoke and it went right. It went to the right, and then when Tracy shook her head, it was like the smoke blew in Tracy's face. I don't know if it was real. Oh, the timing.
We'll have to play that back.
Oh wow! Dog, I'm gonna have to replay that one. Either way, I don't see the issue. Everyone ain't cute. Trans doesn't get a pass. Cis, trans, punk, grudge, etc. If you ain't cute, you ain't cute. That's not my point, Fizz. That's not the point at all. At all. My point of what she said was,
I don't see the
oh my
issue.
God, I really couldn't believe it. She's beautiful though. Like, you was expecting all transes to be ugly? I don't know where you going with this. So Tiffany,
Yeah, the thing is that they were expecting somebody who looks halfway between a man and a woman.
a man and a woman, and it threw her off.
And
I get it, but it's like that's not the.
No, the thing about her was adding a story in about her other two sons and how they touched her.
that seems like a whole different
Why you had to
story.
go
I
all the
dropped
way
that
there?
shit.
They sound like jerks.
Seriously, when you listen to the beginning of the story, it's like, where are you going with? He was so good, he even let her move back in with my oldest child moved in with my middle child.
Okay.
Once you listen to the end of this story, it's like,
and then he fell
they got to
in
do
love.
Then they went to get some popcorn, and then they went to the store and they bought some chicken wings, some macaroni and cheese, and some mashed potatoes. But then they decided that they wanted to go see a movie. Who wants to know all of this?
You know that. I got the backhanded compliment. I was just saying everyone ate cute. Oh, okay, Thea.
Okay.
Everybody ate cute.
I mean, they can't all be me. Hello.
They can't all look in the mirror every day and go, damn it, I'm gorgeous again. I get it. Tiffany broke damn near all my dating rules. 16 years of marriage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But you proposed. That's one like, well, she was
I
a
get
terrible
it. I
girlfriend.
get it, Tracy. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm married to her. I get it.
I'm figuring out how she say yes. That's how I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, did she?
How did she say yes?
Yeah, I'm like, she wanted to say. Oh boy.
What?
Yeah, how could she not say yes? I mean,
what? Are you serious? At a point in time, you have to share the gorgeousness. You can't keep the gorgeousness to yourself.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
No, because every time I talk to myself, I just smile. Me makes me happy.